One.
Boom. We are back. It's a Social Sports Hour. Josh Klein, what is going on?
Not much, man. Not much. It's finals week here. We're grinding it out.
Whoa.
You know, yeah,
Finals week.
yeah,
Josh, can you give me a close-up?
yeah. You're already on it.
I'm already on the close-up. Wow,
I
this
can
is great.
I can get you closer. Do you want?
I don't know if we need that. We've had some issues with that in the past with the audio.
No,
Pat
no,
Cam.
no, no, no,
Remember the inaugural Pat Cam?
no. We got you even closer now.
Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna look at this. This is on behalf of everybody out there. Josh has grinded through this semester. I mean, we're not talking about multitasking. We're talking about like quadruple tasking
Yeah,
here.
probably.
Okay. And when I mean quadruple, I mean thousands, as in 4 separate numbers. And he's grinded his way through the finals week. Here on the Social Sports Hour, we want to give him a round of applause. Let's go, Josh Klein.
Let's go. Listen, it's good things for Josh Klein. Busy week, but we're gonna finish it. We got, big things coming for the future of Josh Klein here. Which I'm excited about. But
Humble brag.
I'm excited about it. I gotta share with the people. I'm excited about it. But yeah,
great.
listen, Josh Klein's life though was not the only thing that I'm just gonna say it's poetic. My career, my life, kind of getting into it. Today, one guy's career ended.
Did Josh?
Alex,
One guy's career.
Alex Smith, the guy who he was okay, and we were like, okay, maybe he's actually good. Gets replaced by a guy named Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Goes over to Washington. We're like, okay, maybe he's actually a solid quarterback. He's going to do something here. Devastating injury.
Terrible.
People cut him out. He hustles. He works. He comes back. The organization didn't even want him to come back. He comes back anyway. He comes back, and then he retires because he gets replaced by the future Hall of Famer Taylor Heineke.
And Fitzmagic.
So, great job, Alex Smith. What a career.
Alex Smith.
You came back, and just like that, he's gone again.
Comeback Player of the Year 2020 season. I mean, look, we're going to be real here for a second, okay?
Yeah,
we're a show. We like to joke around. Professional show, though. Professional shows.
Yeah,
we're serious.
Yeah. We're a serious show.
Well, we like to keep it loose. But on a serious note here, Alex Smith and the comeback that he made, absolutely pretty much amazing.
Pretty much.
He had a war injury, essentially, was in basically a military hospital, comes back, plays a game of football, wins 5 of his 6 starts, helps get the Washington football team to the playoffs.
Yes, he does.
And then him doing that opened up the door for us to see what Josh may call and who may end up, according to Josh, being the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
And that's Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, and that's we thank Alex Smith for that. We thank him for his service.
Right.
Sad to see him go, but listen, the Washington football team, that's an interesting story. They this week release a list of possible names
right
for the organization. And listen, fans, they're having fun with this. I think some of the ones that you would expect are on there, like I believe the Red Wolves, the Wild Hogs. We got DC. I think it's like DC Football Club, DCFC.
DCFC. I kind of like that.
We got a few others on that list, and some people are now wondering. Hey, some people are like, hey, we should stay with Washington football team. And it's an interesting conversation. Patrick, what's your take?
Look, here's the thing. You could stay with the Washington football team. Be interesting if you do go DCFC, though. It makes it sound like it's a soccer team.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe what we do is we trade places with DC United MLS team. We switch names here, and now the Washington football team's called the DC United. Or we like you said, there is an option thrown out there. You stay with Washington football team. Then all you have to do is just find a mascot, and it's going to be something that's probably very irrelevant.
Yeah.
And and like when you think of Alabama, they're the Crimson Tide. Their mascot's an elephant. I'm not 100% sure why,
Doesn't make a
but
lot of
we might be in
sense.
for a situation here with the Washington football team.
Yeah, we don't know. So people are having. Listen, I think that we need Patrick. We need to give our official vote for the new future name on the show today. Um,
Show
so
today. Wow.
so
Okay. Throwing
so
that audible. We love that.
listen, I think we need to. And I'll give you a moment to think here. Um, but I think that I think I already know what the name is. Obviously, we have a lot of different options here. We have
Right.
things like the Washington Warriors, the Washington Rising. Oh, that's dope.
Whoa.
The Washington Commanders, the Washington Ambassadors sounds horrible. The Washington Wayfarers,
Josh, we got the Renegades,
the Washington Red Wolves, the Washington Aviators. We got a lot of teams. The Washington Capital City Football Club. We got the Washington Riders, but the one clear answer I think is there's two.
What is it, Josh?
There's the Washington Wild Hogs and the Washington Rising. I mean, I don't even know what a Rising is, but I like it and I kind of want it. But also Wild Hogs. I mean, imagine just like riding in on like the Wild Hogs. Like that's just a fun mascot.
And there's your mascot.
A wild hog, exactly. And so, I don't know what makes a wild hog that much different than a regular hog, but I think it's probably more wild.
And it's a Will Ferrell movie.
Is it really? Well, that's and so
yes.
I think those are my two options personally. If I had to cast a vote, those are the ones I'm voting. What do you got, Pat?
So, Josh, it sounds like we're down to the Rising or the Wild Hogs here. And I would say as a group, as the two hosts here of the Social Sports Hour, to me, it really sounds like you're leaning toward the Wild Hogs.
I like the Wild Hogs, but also when I think of the Rising, I think of like some sort of like pirate kind of theme. But there's already the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so you probably can't do that. I don't know any hogs in the NFL. We got a lot of birds. We got a lot of different things.
A lot of birds.
There's no hogs that I know of. Therefore, I think, Patrick, our official vote is, here's my vote. Ready? Official vote. Number 1, Wild Hogs. Official vote of this team. Number 2, let's say Washington football team. We like that now.
Mm-hmm.
And number 3, we'll go with, I like the Rising. Sounds dope.
The Rising. Washington Rising.
I mean, I don't even know what's the. I'm fine. I think that's dope.
Look, Josh, I don't know. I
So
don't know.
those are, if I had to pick a votes, those are where I'm going. Official votes cast by, us, Washington Wild Hogs. Would love to see how that turns out. But yes, it is interesting.
Now, Josh, here's one of the more interesting things I would say.
Okay.
Is just because you maybe don't have an official name yet doesn't mean you can't be a good team. Having an honored traditional name for years and years doesn't mean that you're a great team. It just doesn't mean that.
No.
And when we look at somebody like that this year, we look at the New York Yankees. And when you look at the standings, you realize they're 5-10 and they're the worst team in the American League.
Patrick, you're 100% right. And the thing that I think is frustrating for many fans is that the media still wants to try to tell me that they're a top 15, top 10 team in the league. And the reason they do this is because they want the New York Yankee fans to have this blind optimism, so they keep buying stuff. And I'm just going to tell the Yankee fans out there now that you need to just face the reality that the Yankees are not a good baseball team this year. And as far as I'm concerned, they may suck forever. Money can't buy championships anymore, baby. This is the new NBA or MLB. This is the MLB where we put a runner on second base in no extra innings. This is the MLB where you can cheat for World Series and get away with it. This is the future.
Right. I mean, like you said, money doesn't buy championships anymore. I mean, look at the leader of the American League, the Boston Red Sox, and you're going to go, Patrick, wait. They're the Boston Red Sox. They can afford. No, 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 no. Look at this. They trade away Mookie Betts because they can't afford to keep him.
They can't even afford to keep him.
Look at the angle they're taking. They're having more success.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that, Yankees suck. Orioles, third place, no big deal. They're not last.
Right.
And I think that if you want to really look at it, the Orioles have a better chance as the moment to making the playoffs than the Yankees do. And the Orioles allegedly have 0% chance. And so,
Josh, that's not a subjective opinion.
No,
that's just looking off of the numbers right now. We're not looking at odds. We're not looking at anything.
No.
We're just saying we have a 2-game advantage, I believe. So if you just look strictly at the numbers.
Exactly. And I mean, that being said, the Orioles allegedly have 0% chance of making the playoffs. The Yankees have to have like at least a negative % chance then of making it. If you have to think that 0 is, what is 0 greater than, it has to be a negative number. That means statistically speaking, the Yankees have a negative % chance of making the playoffs.
I mean, you heard it here. That's what you heard. What you heard.
And it's interesting because the Yankees are one of those teams that big market, lots of money, but and they're not doing so good. Maybe they're going to have to settle for maybe a new league where it's just the richest teams. Like we're seeing over in England. They're seeming to figure it out. Developments are happening recently that the top teams in the Premier League. I believe it's Man City.
Not just the Premier League, Josh. We're talking about teams from Spain.
Oh, are they in that too? Because I know
they're trying to get teams from Italy.
I saw the list was from the Premier League. I believe it was Man City, Man United, Liverpool. I believe Chelsea, Arsenal were on that list as well.
Tottenham.
I didn't know. Oh, Tottenham was there. I did not see that. But yes, they have those teams, and they're trying to form a super league. Obviously for the money. Fans aren't happy, man.
They are not happy. And look, we're not even talking about just like, oh, you're a West Ham United fan. No. Arsenal fans aren't happy.
Nope.
Man U fans aren't happy.
Nope.
Chelsea fans aren't happy.
No.
I mean, we're looking at this across the board, and it's not just the English teams. Like Real Madrid is in on this. And look, we don't talk a whole lot of soccer on this, but there is levels to how you make it into the Champions League to play teams from other countries and you qualify for it. Basically, what they're saying is, no, we're just going to form our own league and we're going to make all the money.
Yeah, and fans are not happy. Jerseys are being burned. People are not happy at all. And sometimes you got to think about it. I'm a businessman. Sometimes you got to think, hey, maybe you just got to do it for the money. Maybe, Patrick.
Whoa. Are you pro Super League?
I'm not saying I'm pro Super League, but I am not saying I'm not pro Super League. I'm not against it. I'm just going to say that. Here's why. Everyone's going to hate on me, but I'm a polarizing figure, so I don't care. They're going to hate me regardless. That's why I do what I do. But I'm thinking this. Who cares? Let them get together and form a Super League. That's just one step closer to being like the NFL. And we all know the NFL is the best sports league there is. So, sure, let's just make it more like the NFL. Let's make the Super League. Let's get those teams in there. Get them competing together, all year. And get them, let's build a playoffs where it's a bracket system, one game elimination like it should be.
Yeah, take notes from the MLS.
Maybe, here's what you do. Maybe you put a salary cap on and make it high because you're super rich anyway. And let's just make the NFL soccer version down in Europe.
Wow.
NFL soccer version down in Europe. I'm just saying, maybe it's a great idea.
Well, here's the funny part. So FIFA comes out and says if any players on the Super League team, so if they form the Super League, and there's any of the players that play in this league are going to be banned from playing in any of the FIFA sanctioned events. So like they can't play in the World Cup. So I don't know who the guy is, but I guess he's some guy part of the Super League. He just comes out and says, "Yeah, no worries. We'll just make our own World Cup." And it's like, whoa,
epic. That's a power move. I mean, listen, I understand. If I was a passionate fan, I'd be hating this. But as a non-passionate fan, I think it's fun to watch and observe and just be like, hey, let's see what happens with this thing. The United States does not have a chance in the World Cup ever anyway. So maybe if all the best players are on these Super League teams and they form their own World Cup, maybe does the United States have a better chance? Because last time I checked, no MLS teams are going to be in this Super League.
Right. But Josh, that's great. But when you got to think of it, you got Pulisic, you got McKinney, you got other stars.
You're right.
That would be playing possibly in this Super League. Then you start looking at.
argument.
So this is where you go. Pulisic, be a home country hero, come back to the MLS.
It's interesting. It's an interesting idea. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this plays out. And if I'll be honest, I don't think the super team's going to form. I don't. The Super League. But am I completely against it? I mean, listen, I'm just saying, let's take the top 32 best teams in soccer in the world.
Oh, right. So let's just start the Champions League. Let's just keep that going.
And then just let them play. Maybe, I don't know, let's play. I'm just throwing numbers on my head. 16-game season. And then maybe 17. Add one. Who knows?
Maybe 17 if we get to that point. And then what we're going to do is we'll take the top 6, definitely. And maybe we'll add the 7th in each, because we're going to split them up into 2 groups.
Yep. 2 groups.
We're going to have, we're have two groups. We're going to have like the National Football Conference, as in football, right? Yeah. And then we're going to have the European Football Conference. And then you take the 2 of them, you put the top 7, and you give whoever's the first place one in those 16 games.
Yep.
Just we're going to say, hey, you get to sit out the first round.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. And then they get to sit out the first round, and then we do like a single elimination type bracket.
Right.
And to the point where we'll have like the top 2 best teams from each of these conferences that we just
created. From the European conference and from the national conference, right?
They're gonna play each other for a chance to win because it's the Super League. So we're gonna like have it like the Super Championship game or something along. Mm-hmm. We can figure out the name later,
right?
And then they are gonna play in what's probably gonna be the biggest sporting event in in European football.
Right, and you got to think the commercials are going to be great there.
Yeah, I mean, so many eyes. I mean, we're talking about, eyes from all over Europe and the world.
We'll even have a halftime performance. We'll have a halftime performance.
We're always going to get somebody who's just going to do somebody who's like just a little outdated, somebody who's like, maybe we're not catching them in their prime, and then we're going to have them perform, and it's always going to be controversial. Most people are not going to like it. But then there's going to be the true fans who are of that artist,
right?
Who are probably going to enjoy it. And then listen, and then I think that we do this every year, and
right, and we're going to try to have it in like the nicest stadium or like the warmest place, and that's where we'll hold the Super League Championship or whatever it's going to be called.
Exactly. I mean, there's got to be. You have to imagine there's some nice places in Italy and Spain.
And then, but Josh, I think what we forgot is all the out of the 32 teams, the ones that don't get the privilege and the honor to make it there, we're gonna have like an AllStar game,
game
the week before the championship.
Yeah. Right. And so maybe like do some sort of like fan vote to get people in there. And then they play each other, and the teams will be sorted based on what conference you are in.
Right, and if people get tired of that, we're just going to go ahead and get some soccer stars. And we're tired, of course. So we'll just get like David Beckham.
Exactly. Yeah,
he'll be like a captain. He'll get to pick his own team. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think we're really onto something here. And so, I guess you could say I'm for Super League. I guess you could. I mean, soccer fans, you can hate me. My roommate's probably going to come punch me here in a second. Big soccer fan, big Liverpool guy.
But Josh, when you lay it out like that, 32 teams, 16, possibly 17 games with 7 playoff spots.
I don't think you can beat that. And
an all-star game?
I mean, I think that we fix soccer, football in Europe. We fix soccer, and I think that, I think people are going to be happy. It's going to be like anything, like any big decision, like putting a guy on second base to start,
right,
or any big decision like this. It's going to get some negative feedback at first, but I think once we get this thing going, people are going to love this thing.
Wow. Josh, I mean, you might have just fixed the whole system.
I might have. And yeah. I think it's going to be good. And maybe we implement a draft. Who knows?
A draft. And we'll have it so that, of course, whoever the last place team in the table is, 100%, they'll be able to select using whatever money they want. Since we can't really draft in soccer, you have first priority to enter the transfers.
Yeah, well, I think exactly. We'll do I guess we could kind of make almost like a lower system where you could draft maybe out of the clubs that aren't as good, or you could
within the Premier League.
you could draft from maybe different universities and colleges.
Well, Josh, here's the thing that is actually kind of funny about the Super League, and other people are saying this, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at the Premier League, okay, they're taking the top 6 most rich, the teams that have the most money, and this way they're all guaranteed to have money. They don't have to play for a Champions League spot, stuff like that. But when you go look at the Premier League table, one of the teams, Arsenal's 9th. They're not even a top 6 team right now.
Yeah, it's
Leicester City's 3. 4 is West Ham United. This is a huge deal for those teams.
Yeah, exactly. Because the smaller clubs, they're the clubs, they, to have that opportunity, to even anybody has there's obviously relegation and things like that, and people can move up, and it's
right now, if you look at the table, Burnley is 17th and Fulham's 18th. That is a huge deal right now because that's relegation.
Exactly. And so I don't know. It is interesting to see. I'm still I don't care that much because if you're so concerned about we don't want the richest teams to have or if all these fans are so concerned about not wanting the richest teams to have the higher opportunity, then why haven't you guys added a salary cap? Because you still want the richest clubs to be able to play.
The problem with that, Josh, is I feel like it's extremely difficult to add a salary cap in soccer because it's such a global game. So
it is. But I'm talking about strictly in the Premier League. Because you're talking about in the Premier League, you're saying.
But also, okay, Josh, I think the other issue is it's you're going to have teams like Man City, okay? They're extremely rich. They're first in the league right now, okay? Yeah. They're willing to spend, I don't know, I'm just going to throw a number out there, $400 million a year, okay? And then we've got Leeds United down in 10th, which I didn't even know existed until today. Their budget's probably 20, 30, maybe?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though. It's
well, but so then you're going to have to meet somewhere in the middle. But a team like Leeds United can't afford $200 million on a salary cap.
Yeah, I don't know.
Then what's going to happen is you're going to have teams like Man City. They're going to be like, oh, well, now PSG, now Barca, now Real Madrid's just going to spend all their money and go get these guys. So
yeah,
when you look at it like that, but that being said, Super League, not good.
Super League, I still for it. Pro Super League. You can't change my mind. I'm officially on that bandwagon. I'm going to change my Instagram bio tonight to Pro Super League. I'm going to start my Twitter campaign for it, and I'm excited to see where it takes us.
By the way, that's the other thing we didn't talk about. I saw you tweet it the other night, and that's a rare thing for Joshua Klein.
It is.
Hops on Twitter, and I see he tweets something that goes, my commentary could be better on this fight. Frankly, anyone's good, or something like that. And of course, talking about the Jake Paul fight,
yes.
Which was it even a boxing match or was it a concert?
It's a tough thing. Listen, Patrick, my story is this.
I didn't watch it, Josh. I didn't.
I hop on the legal live stream that I found on the internet about 10 o'clock. The fight.
That's early.
The night. Well, it's the undercard. Oh, sorry, it was like more like 10:30, 11, around that area. So the undercard started at 9. I get on, and I'm thinking, okay, this cannot be that long because I only had to watch. There's only like 2 undercard fights, and then before the double main event. What I did not anticipate was like a very long concerts in between each thing. And that it made the time a lot longer. I had to sit through the worst commentating of any event I've ever seen. The camera work was like this the whole freaking time. I was like, can we just keep the thing on the freaking person? It's not that hard to stay still. Snoop Dogg was calling people grandpas. He's coming at everyone. He was saying things. I was like, surely he's going to get canceled tonight. Surely. The other commentators were high. There was like 6 of them, and they're all just talking. It sounded like a bunch of people like arguing. Everyone was just kissing up to Snoop Dogg. All they wanted to do the whole night was be like, Snoop Dogg, give me love. Snoop Dogg, give me attention. Like it was horrible, but I sat through all of it to get to the fight. And then Jake Paul wins in like 5 seconds. First round knockout. And I will say it was a little controversial. He even though he did knock him down, the ref called it a little early, in my opinion. I think Jake Paul should have won, but it was a little early. People are saying maybe it was rigged, but listen, overall, my opinion is Triller should never, ever have the opportunity to host a boxing event ever again. If I could do a better job with my MacBook Pro and my small DSLR camera than they did. Whoever put that together should be fired, should be ashamed. Listen to the people and realize that was the worst thing I've ever watched in my life.
How much did they actually charge for that fight? I have no clue.
I believe it was 50. I feel like I feel like I should get my money back, and I didn't even pay for it.
See, that's not a good thing.
Not a good thing. That being said, congrats to Jake Paul. Gets another dub. Not a big Jake Paul guy, big Logan Paul guy. We'll see where this goes. I mean, it was interesting. I mean, Jake Paul was doing a stretch, and then Snoop Dogg called it gay. And, they had what's the comedian?
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson, he was just there because he was getting paid. Charlie and Dixie D'Amelio were
wasn't Mario Lopez there too or something?
I feel like he was, but Charlie and Dixie D'Amelio were like this holding like some sort of sign. You could tell they were just there.
Were they supposed to be the ring girls?
I don't know, man. I think something like that. They were just standing in the background as people were getting interviewed. I was like,
Triller definitely was like, okay, so we're going to bring in these 2 popular TikTok girls. And then as the fight's going on, they're going to post a TikTok. We're going to get more people to hop on Triller, and we're going to get them to pay for it.
Yes, it was, I don't know. I think they probably brought in a lot of money, but I don't think people will be watching Triller again or paying for it. If anybody needs the link for the next Triller fight, let me know. So yes, that's all I have to say about that. But it really, honestly, it reinforced the idea, Patrick, that I was like, man, I think Patrick has a future in commentating if this is the standard.
Josh, I feel like now this is like, we're almost like not even talking on the show, but it's like, we're going to get into a spike ball event this summer. Like it's 100% going to happen.
100%. I mean, I'm ready. I've been warming up the commentating abilities. It's not something I do, but I will do it, and I will do a better job than the sorry bums who did that fight, because I will not be stoned or drunk, and I will actually be.
Wait, so are you going on the record guaranteeing that going into a possible spike ball live event?
Yes, I am. I can guarantee that, and also it's going to be a better, higher quality production than this thing it was anyway. We may not have some flashy light and stage, but.
Or a robot.
Or some weird robot. Transformer. Yes, no train. But we will have, just a generally more entertaining show. No Justin Bieber. No Justin Bieber.
No Justin Bieber. I don't think we'll be able to afford him.
No, but I mean, but is that even a con?
I don't know. I think we'll be fine without him.
Fine.
I think the show will carry on. And Josh, speaking of that, I mean, this was a heavy show today.
A heavy show, 30 minutes. I mean,
it's great.
Great job. Way to go, us. Yeah, but thank you guys for listening, watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and then we'll be around. Big news coming out from me and Patrick about plans for the summer and the show. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for listening. Peace out.
Yep. Peace.